Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Your Football Show. I hope you haven't missed me too much. I have been away in Liverpool at a wedding since Thursday, hence why I haven't dropped any videos in that time from Thursday. No, last one was video, wasn't it? Was Wednesday, sorry, the midweek fix. There's been all sorts going on. So I wanted to do like a bumper transfer catch-up stream thingy-majiggy. We've got loads to get through as well. There's absolutely loads. So we've got Raphinha. We've got chat on a left-back, Leif Davis, Leo Hielda. We've got chat on a goalkeeper. We're going to talk about some potential outgoings from some of the younger lads and some of the lads on the periphery. We are going to talk about new contracts for certain stars within the team. Potential incomings, the likes of Sonny Perkins, Charles De Ketelaere. We're going to talk about Tyler Adams and Mohamed Camara. Yeah, there is absolutely loads to go through. I'm siding with you, Sporting Central. I'm siding with you, mate. We will discuss that. I've said that continuously through the transfer saga on the midfielder. You know who I've always believed to be the main choice, and I'm still sticking with that. But we'll have to wait and see. But big shout out to you all watching. Please like the video if you haven't already. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, hit that notification bell as well. We've almost got 200 people already in the door. I hope you haven't missed me too much, like I say. Because I've missed you. Like, this is my sort of happy place. Do you know what I mean? This is where I come and get a little bit of solace and stuff. So I'm very, very tired, as I say, because I drove back from Liverpool today. I had to go to Halifax to get my dog because I dropped the dog off at my mum's, and then I had to go then pick up my daughters as well. So then come home. So I didn't get home till like 5 o'clock. And then I've just eaten and that. And then I was like, listen, this can't wait till tomorrow. Let's just get a stream, catch everything up, and then we can start just putting out the videos again as news happens. But like I say, it's been a mad few days, yeah, a mad few days, especially with the Raphinha saga. So we're gonna Adam Coombs Vape reviewer. I always read comments, bro, but I'm just chatting at the minute. But oi to you, mate. All right, I do read comments. There was a guy the other day actually was fuming. That didn't read a comment out. Big up to the Leeds lately. Big up to Leeds lately. Their new channel, father and son combo. Make sure you go and support them. I put the link to their YouTube channel on a video I did the other day when I gave them props there. So yeah, go support the Leeds United family as well. And thank you so much for supporting the channel there, lads, as well. The Leeds lobby, sorry, not Leeds lately. My apologies. I've got so much on my screen, like it's the writing's really small. Leeds lobby. Yeah. Leeds lately is what my thing's called. Yeah, ignore me. Yes, Charles, Halifax Pelham, mate. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. Yeah, I was there today to pick up my dog. My mum had my dog for a couple of days while I was in Liverpool. So we're going to start with Raphinha. Yeah, we're going to start with Raphinha. I did put a poll out. If you haven't voted on that, vote on that. Who will Raphinha play for next season? Options: Leeds, Chelsea, or Barcelona. Now, as I say, I haven't done a video since Wednesday, so like all my notes and that are like from the 30th right through to the 2nd. So if there's stuff that's already that I've gone over, then you'll know. Do you know what I mean? Because like people are saying in the chat as well, Newcastle lodged a bid. We spoke about Newcastle before. We're gonna have a chat through anyway. But obviously, Raphinha, Barcelona, Chelsea, or Leeds. Like, what is it? Cheers, Rob. Thank you very much for your comment, mate. Love you as well. Chelsea is still waiting for Raphinha's answer, it would seem. I think we're gonna be siding on the fact that maybe Raphinha is going to stay put for a little bit until Barcelona can get the finances in order, get their ducks in a row. Big up Animally. It's frustrating for me as a Leeds United fan because we've got 60 million there on the table from Chelsea. Apparently, well, we know Deco's pushing this. Deco's been pushing this since that pre-contract agreement was all signed, sealed, delivered on your Stevie Wonder tactics way back in, January, February, March time when we discussed it. So until that situation's resolved, Raphinha is willing to wait for them. Do you know what I mean? That's what it would seem. Must be frustrating for Chelsea because, the deal's been agreed. They'll be able to pay him what he wants. But I'm led to believe that Raphinha is willing to even take a a pay cut, really, in order to go through to Barcelona. It's his dream move. Ronaldinho, Deco, etc. We've spoke about it on many occasions. It is his dream club. We know that, I think it was on the 30th, or is it 30 days or 31 in June? I never know. Let's have a look. There is 30 days. So I think it was on the Thursday, we found out Barcelona had agreed. If you remember before, like, Phil Hay did an article on whether or not Barcelona could afford the deal. And I did a video, like, sort of going through that and discussing how in June time they were due to sell so much, and then they were supposed to have, like, their junket, whatever you call, where they sort out their finances. And we know that they've agreed to a deal to sell 10% of their La Liga TV rights for the next 25 years to a global investment firm called Sixth Street Partners. And that deal was worth 267 million euros. And the investment came straight away from Sixth Street, and they invested 207.5 million of that. So that's a big cash flow for Barca. But I still don't think it got them to a place where they could then register even the free players they've got. Do you know what I mean? So I think the likes of Kessie, Anders Christiansen, perhaps. So you know, they're still getting all the ducks in the row. If I do go quiet from time to time, it's because I'm reading stuff, because Twitter's all going off at the minute, innit? And there's so many notifications and stuff. But like I said, there is still 61 days, of the transfer window left. So there is a lot that will happen between now and then, and that's why I still think Raphinha gets his move to Barcelona, because 61 days is a lot of time in football. But we'll go to your poll and we'll have a little chat about it after we've, like, sort of round up. Danny, I agree with you. Danny of the Pointy Hills, I agree with you. There's a little part of me says I don't want Raphinha to stay here until January, till they're sorted out, because ultimately we need to improve our squad, and his money is facilitating that. Now, of course, I prefer Raphinha to stay with them additions, but the reality is we ain't going to be able to do that. If Raphinha stays, we won't get the additions we need. It'll be the same squad with the 3 already signed. Leeds United need to move him on in order to go bang, bang, bang. Like, as soon as Raphinha goes, I think we'll get players in the door. You know, I think they're already ready to go. We've seen Victor Orta is everywhere. He's in Italy at minute. Speaking to a prospective signing. Whoever that is, doesn't mean they're from the Italian leagues, but it might be a meeting place. Do you know what I mean? So he's in Italy at the minute. He's just done an interview. So it's like all the ducks are sort of in a row from a Leeds United perspective, but we can't shoot the shot. We can't, you know, hit the button until Raphinha moves on. So it is a little bit frustrating, isn't it? Because it's like, if you're going to go, mate, go. Because I think we're all getting a little bit frustrated. I think Raphinha will be as well. Like, I do have sympathy for him there. The club must be getting frustrated, like Orta and stuff, you know. Deco's the little div in this little piece, and he's the villain of the piece. So, yeah. But look, Barcelona have got money in a certain sense. Yeah, Danny, you're right. Yeah, several irons in the fire, ready to go. Exactly. It is ready to go. And I agree with you, Lisa Blinkyfish, that I'm fed up of the whole damn saga as well. Like on Thursday, I tweeted out, just F off Barcelona, because they do me head in. So despite the proposal of Chelsea, Barcelona are convinced they'll still be able to hijack the transfer. And he's granted Barcelona time in order to do that, hasn't he? There was talk of a bid coming in from Barcelona. I don't think it's true. The reports don't seem to be true. Of course, there'll be some right, some wrong, some right, some wrong. This is how it is. You know, I was chatting with someone yesterday. Was talking to me about Sanderberg, for example. I've never seen any sort of credible sources about Sanderberg, so I've not heard anyone speak about it. So I've never thought Leeds United were in, and you know, there's a lot of that. You know, there's a lot of articles out there, but when you actually look underneath it all, where's the source from? You know, where's it come from? And this chat of a bid that was all doing the rounds, I think on Friday it might have been. It doesn't seem to be true, because, as I say, apparently they contacted Leeds United to submit a new bid for Raphinha following talks with Deco. But the verbal proposal didn't meet Leeds' request. And they still, respecting that offer from Chelsea of 60 million up front as well. That's the thing, isn't it? It was a up front. Herbie, we will get to more Camara. We will get to all that stuff. Don't worry. We've got loads to get through today. So we will get to it, and I will get to your comments as well. I'm answering them as they come in, but I'll favourite a few of them and we'll chat about them. But obviously Deco's the one pushing this, really trying to get his move for his player. He's probably promised Raphinha the move. Probably promised Barcelona the move. I read a thread earlier on where apparently he'd received payments already, but I'm not too sure if, having a look at some of the replies and the comments is saying nah, this isn't right, because one of them was Chelsea could sort of sue Leeds because they've accepted the bid, but that's BS, because I can go on Football Manager and accept 10 bids, all from different players at different values. It's up to the player. Do you know what I mean? So it's it doesn't matter if you've accepted a bid with Chelsea. If you accept a bid from Barcelona, it's up to the player. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, the player's not forced to go anywhere. That's BS. He's got a contract. He could say, I'm not going to them. So that's why I haven't really, read any more into that. But, yeah, I don't know. So Barcelona were trying to come up with a bid to pay for Raphinha in 3 installments, they were saying. And it said the 2 clubs have agreed to these conditions. Well, that didn't happen because we're still in the same situation. We're now hearing he might wait. Do you know what I mean? But apparently there was a bid in from Newcastle. Apparently a bid came in from Newcastle, or at least a conversation. Another man's bid is another man's, inquiry, isn't it? We're not privy to it all. I think even Victor Orta said in his interview that he did, if you want the lowdown on it, speak to Fabrizio Romano, as if to say he knows more than what I do, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I agree with you, Blinky. Time of deadline was set. Yeah, ideally it would be ideal if we could just say, look, if you're not going to pay by this date, you're on your bike. So yeah, so it was being reported that Chelsea were ready to pay 60 million. Barcelona offered 60 million in 3 installments, and Leeds have accepted Barcelona's offer. This was Friday. It's now Saturday. No movement. So I don't believe that to be right. Apparently, it was 50 million plus 10 million add-ons paid in installments, 20 million first, etc., etc. Leeds have come out, or at least been reported, or he's been spoken to people to say, listen, we have only accepted the £60 million bid from Chelsea as it stands. So yeah, all this talk of agreeing a deal. There was even talk a contract had been agreed at 6 million per year or whatever. We know that the contract's already done anyway. That was done ages ago, right? Apparently Newcastle bid. No one else is coming to the party. Chelsea have had a bid accepted. If he don't go to Chelsea, he's going to Barcelona, isn't he? It was being reported in Spain as well by loads. I think Marso, Mundo, Deportivo, Sport Owl had said about this bid in 3 installments. A total bid of up to 51.7 million, which isn't the 60 million that Leeds United want. And they're not, I don't envisage Leeds United giving up on 9 million. Why? They don't need to. They've had a bid accepted. Barcelona, if you want to enter the party, you've got to pay the 60 million. That's the facts, isn't it? So there's been some tweets recently. Ben Jacobs saying, so Juan Laporta, the sporting director, if you like, the president, has come out and said, we know Raphinha wants to come. We've only had communication with Leeds. No sale has been agreed. Nothing has been agreed between the two clubs. Leeds have still not accepted anything. Barcelona must match Chelsea's offer. So this talk in Mundo, Marca, Deportivo, Sport, all, again, it's all factually incorrect. This is what I'm saying about, when you have to really look into the sources, where they're coming from, what's it doing. Yeah, Andy, that what you mentioned there, Juan Laporta has come out now and done an interview because he's talking about Dembele. He's talking about a number of people, saying that Dembele is going to sign a new deal at a 40% wage reduction, but we still want Raphinha on top of that. And he's come out and said the Brazilian wants to come, but has confirmed only communication with Leeds rather than anything being accepted. Leeds have still not accepted anything. Barcelona must match Chelsea's offer. So this here, that figure that you mentioned about the 3 installments, 20 million up front, 2 further payments, 51.7 million. Leeds are saying no because they've got a bid on the table that is £60 million. If you want him, you've got to match that. Otherwise, he speaks to Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's coming out. And Ben Jacobs did go on to say a move to Barcelona still likely because Raphinha is prepared to wait. Chelsea's tactic was based on a fast sale, but Barca have reacted and don't look like pulling out. I think Lewandowski is their first preference, but getting both seems possible now. So it would Enzo. It would have to be up front or something like that, unless. Look, and we'll speak about Tyler Adams soon, but there's been talk of a loan for Tyler Adams with a view to a permanent. So maybe Leeds United are thinking, right, if Barcelona are going to give us the 60 million, but it is coming in installments and it is coming in increment, payments, then we can sort our deals in that style as well. So let's say we get Tyler Adams on loan with a view to a permanent. By the time that permanent needs to be paid, you've received another payment potentially from Barcelona. I'd prefer it up front as well, Enzo. Like Chelsea are willing to do that, but we'll have to wait and see. I would imagine the Phillips one is up front. I've not seen anything to say otherwise. But yeah. So as it stands, nothing's been agreed or anything with them yet. Barca president's still speaking. Lewandowski is a buying player. First to keep this situation quiet. We're really happy that he wants to join Barca. So that one's still going on as well, isn't it? So they're speaking about Koundé, Koulibaly. This is what I mean. Barcelona, when people say they're skint and they're not doing it, it's the fact they're still out there, trying to make deals happen, getting deals ready. Because they know by hook or by crook, they will get deals over the line. Yeah. Barca president on De Jong, for example, there are many clubs that want him, not just Man United. We have no intention of selling him. He wants to stay. He's signing Ousmane Dembele. Andres Christensen set to be announced. We will present Kessie on Wednesday. So obviously this money has now meant they can get them players in. So I know someone mentioned that in the chat earlier on, so big up for them as well. So it looks like they are now able to. So already Barcelona have progressed a little bit because they've gone from not being able to get players on permanent to now getting them on permanent. So they're now getting Christensen in. They're now getting Frank Kessie in. What's going on now? Stuart, I agree. Not so much on Raphinha. I don't think we can hammer Raphinha for this. Like, ultimately, the guy wants his dream move. Yeah? He wants his dream move, and I understand where his head's at. He wants to move to Spain, to Barca, see his career out there. If he goes to Chelsea, that move could be scuppered. Do you know what I mean? You've got to have a little bit of... And let's not forget what he did for us, yeah? I've seen a lot of recency stuff with Calvin as well that I can't get my head round. People all of a sudden saying he's not good, he's not this, he's not that. Come on now. Like, let's not do that. And with Raphinha, do you know what? It's Deco, it's this persistence with Barca, him being friends there. Because you could imagine if Deco didn't have close relationships with Barca, would he be that insistent? I don't know. Yeah, well, he probably would because his player wants Barca, doesn't he? I sort of understand it, man. It's his dream place. He wants to go there. Yeah. But like Lisa's just said, Blinky Fish, that maybe he's been a little bit unrealistic and he has to say, look, I mean, there will come a point where something's got to give, and something's got to give. Deco used to play for Chelsea, but not. Yeah, but Barcelona was his home, wasn't it? I hear what you're saying. But look, something needs to give with Raphinha. And like I said earlier, there is 61 days still to go in the transfer window. 61 days. That's a hell of a lot of time. 2 months, really, to get it done. So I think the frustrating thing for me, and I guess for some of you, and probably for Raphinha as well, we want him in for pre-season. The club want him in for pre-season. You can see that with the speed in which they've done their business this time around. They want the players on the plane to Australia. As it stands, Raphinha will be getting told to go on the plane. Now, I don't think he will. He'll probably be a bit like Mohamed Camara when he was excused from training for Salzburg. You know, it's you know, you'd imagine that would happen with Raphinha as well. Unless some of the reports are saying that Raphinha's willing to wait. Unless he says, look, Victor, I'm waiting until January, mate. Then Leeds are stuck. Now, of course, it's nice to have Raphinha at your football club, but ultimately, it's mad to think Leeds United might be more Premier League ready without Calvin and Raphinha than if they were to stay. Does that make sense? Because like Rhiannon's just said in the chat, we need the sales in order to get the incomings, you know? And like Victor said earlier, and like Graham Smith said earlier as well, I'm just looking at some of the other stuff that's coming in on the notifications, no Leeds stuff. Leeds have deals ready to go for free players. And we know that them free players are a midfielder, a winger, and of course a striker, second striker, 10, whatever you like. Yeah. So they're ready to go, right? Whether we get all three is, you know, the top targets. We know what the top targets are, right? Yeah, the top targets are what I believe anyway, right? And people will disagree with me, and we'll get to that why. But I believe the three top targets are Charles De Ketelaere, Tyler Adams, which you'll all disagree with me, and of course Cody Gakpo. So we'll wait to see. And then I don't know what's underneath that. I think, you know, your three midfielders was Tyler Adams, was Mohamed Camara, and Harry Winks. Yeah, it was Harry Winks. I know this. I'm hoping, you know, Leeds United don't go down that way. Do you know what I mean? There's a reason why Harry Winks was liked by the club. You know, because it's clear, because he's been offered up to Bielsa loads of times. So obviously Ort likes him. Do you know what I mean? But I think we'll hopefully get Adams over the line. We'll have a chat about Mohamed Camara in a sec. But whether Leeds get all their top targets, yeah, remains to be seen. But they're ready to go, yeah? They're ready to go. We just need to, you know, some outgoings to happen, really, in a sense. You know, for us to then start getting these deals over the line. CDK doesn't fancy it. I did say that before, and I got hammered for it. I said that, but I knew that from the person who actually did the article to say that Leeds were interested in him. And then people were saying, yeah, but so-and-so's just done an article. And I went, yeah, but I know from that said person that he prefers to move to Italy, and he confirmed it on his podcast. but everyone were going, you're off. You don't know what you're talking about. Phil's just done an article. Yeah, he said we were interested in the player. He didn't say whether or not the player wanted to move. I said on that video, CDK rejects Leeds, and everyone were like, nah, Phil's just done this. But he does favour a move to Italy, and we'll talk about that. It's no saying we can't get the deal done. But then obviously it was, you know, said on the podcast today. Yeah. Anyway, stick with me, you won't go wrong, I'm telling you. Over 700 people watching, which is fine. So thank you so much for doing that. 190 likes. Smash the like if you can. Let's get it up to 300 if we can possibly do that. Looking at the poll then, who will Raphinha play for next season? 27% have said Leeds, 13% have said Chelsea, 60% have said Barcelona. It's interesting people have got Leeds over Chelsea, because surely if Barca can't pay, then he goes to Chelsea. But then again, like you say, he may say, I'm going to wait until I can get, you know, the Barcelona deal in January, perhaps. But yeah, hit that like and show some support for the channel, please. Right, okay. Next on the agenda then is left backs. We're going to chat about left backs. Will there be one incoming? Who do we have available at the club? Let's have a chat about it. So, I'm going to put a new poll out. Yeah, let me know what you're saying. One sec. So left back, Reef Davis. This is to be second to Firpo. Hjelgi, Hjelde, should I say. Right, so I'm going to ask you, what would you prefer? Okay, so there's a new poll out there now. So we've got, your poll is, where is it? There we go. So we don't bring a left back in, yeah? We go with Leif Davis or we go with Leo Hjelde. Let's have a chat about it. Because Leif Davis, apparently I did a video before where I'd heard from someone that he'd been offered to a number of clubs in the Championship and League One for around about 1.5 million. Obviously, Bournemouth didn't take Leeds United up on the offer. Obviously, got promotion to the Premier League. Didn't play, an awful lot for Bournemouth, and Bournemouth have decided against, getting him on a permanent. I believe he was offered to Ipswich, Oldham, and these have turned him down. There was question marks over certain things, but apparently he's been training. They're having a look at him, and he's been training well. This is what's been said earlier on from Graham Smith. And he's likely to be on the flight to Australia as it stands. Whether or not he'll get a new contract, that's up in the air. But if he can impress Marsh whilst out in Australia and on the training ground, then there's a chance. Obviously, he's got to improve on the pitch. It's all good doing it in training, isn't it? But we'll have to wait and see. And the reason I bring up Leo Hjelde is because Leo Hjelde did an interview in Norway saying, we are not signing another left back. The manager, Jesse Marsh, told me. Now, I don't know the full context as to why that was around, but the fact that Leo Hjelde mentioned that, Leo Hjelde mentioned that made me think, right, okay, so has Leo Hjelde been promised game time and also been offered as we will also play you at left back, Leo? In other words, just my point is, why would Jesse and Leo have a conversation about left back? Why would he tell him that? Why would that come up in conversation? Do you know what I mean? Oh, by the way, I'm telling you we're not signing a left back. For me, it's a conversation that's had on the training pitch, in a case of saying, there's chance for you, Leo. You know what I mean? Because you've played at left back before. We're not signing another left back. We've only got Junior. So is it a case of him having that conversation? Someone said to me, wires crossed. Hjelde didn't say it. A Norwegian journal did it. Is that correct? Let me double check this. One sec. I've taken it off my bookmarks, you see. So what was it the journalist said? Can someone re-tag me in that? I need to find it now. One sec. I'm going to find this tweet. And we'll find the context behind it. One sec. And I know this doesn't make for great viewing. So Andreas Asivan, let's have a look. Sees Leo Hjelde tweet. One sec. Let me see if I can find it. But why would the journalist say, Jesse told me? Does that make sense? I'm going to have to find it, though. Sorry about this, folks. I'm trying to find it. It's all in Norwegian, and I don't speak Norwegian. If the guy can find it for me, then, you know what I mean, let me know. Let me know if you can send me. But I don't think it is wires crossed. I don't know, I might be wrong, but I believe it was Leo Hjelde had said in an interview to a Norwegian journalist that Jesse Marsh had told him that we weren't after a left back. So again, I can only think about a conversation where that would happen. And again, sometimes you've got to put two and two together. Yeah. So has he, it was in the newspaper, was it, Tom? Thank you. has he had a conversation about that to say, look, you're going to get opportunities in the first team because we're not signing another left back. So therefore, there's an opportunity there. Someone said he played left back at Celtic as well. He's played there before. So for me, the Leeds United look at that and see us as having adequate cover. Leif Davis is being given a chance. Leo Hjelde seems to have had conversations about it. We're keeping Junior Firpo. And then people like they've said in the chat as well, Jack Harrison at left wing back in a 5-3-2. I would like that. I know City looked at him as an option there as a left back, you know. So I would like that. Whether or not we'll do that, we'll have to wait and see. But like Danny Rumsey says there, he's played left back for both Celtic and Ross County. So I think they're your left back options. Of course, I'm like a lot of you would be happy with the Charlie Taylor coming in. You know, he's been mentioned so much. There's also Tagliafico, who's been linked to. He's been linked to Brighton as well, and he's available for a cut down price. I know Leeds looked at him before. He'd be another one. And then someone's just mentioned in the chat as well about Alioski. Of course, Alioski. We know about Gianni. Now has no club and a contract ripped up, so he's available. A squad member. Makes sense, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? People don't want him back, but it would make sense to me. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I don't think he was pants, Mark. I think, of course, we needed an improvement on him, and we thought we got that in Firpo, but it wasn't. Do you know what I mean? But I think as a second choice left back or someone to compete with Firpo, I think it's a decent option because he ain't going to cost you anything. But you know, we'll have to wait and see what happens with left back. But I'm still of the thinking, and you know, I know Connor called it negligent, and he's probably got something in that. I think we would all like a left back, but sometimes we have to be a little bit realistic as well and think, do we think they will? Of course, it's negligent or it's criminal or whatever you know, whatever superlative you want to throw at it. I think Joe the Square Ball tweeted what, Gav? What did they tweet, bro? What did they tweet? Anyway, yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with the left back situation. But it looks to me like the club aren't going to do one. I don't think, anyway. Goalkeeper, though. If we talk about a goalkeeper, your man Graham Smith was asked the question today about a goalkeeper. I know it seems to be pretty quiet on that front, but I think the reason that it's so quiet is because Leeds United are focusing on their specific targets, who they're going to be after. And Graham Smith had said, like, their only focus at this moment in time is a centre forward, a winger, and a defensive midfielder. After that, we then might see movement on the goalkeeping front, on the goalkeeping position. Everyone's all right, Gav. Thank you so much. I see that. I'll have to check that out, mate. In terms of the goalkeeper, Ben Foster's a right shout, isn't he? Ben Foster's a right shout. Even Darren Randolph, who was at West Ham, etc., they've just got Areola on a permanent. Just someone, because there's not... They might not even be needed, but just having someone there as an option, if it goes sour, is great, you know. And like Michael said about Meslier, he lost his head for parts and he wasn't great. Could have done with a few games out. Gives him rests in the cups as well, potentially, you know. So, yeah. Yeah, all right, okay. So Gav has found the article. Yeah, so it is true. He wasn't misquoted, was he? It wasn't misquoted. Leo Hjelde said we're not signing a left back. Leo Hjelde to Norwegian newspaper, we are not signing another left back. The manager, Jesse Marsh, told me. There you go. So it wasn't misquoted. Thank you, Gav, for sending me that. It is genuine. We are not signing another left back there. You've got it from the horse's mouth, basically. It might have come secondary through Leo, but it's come from Jesse himself. Now, for me, why are you having that conversation with Leo? Because you're saying you are going to get chances at left back. Keep playing well. Keep doing what you're doing. There'll be a chance for you at left back. I've got 5 subs. That's what that conversation is for me. So we'll wait and see. And Philip, I hope Firpo does prove everyone wrong. Everyone wrong. But when you call them haters, I think it's not, I don't think it's hate on him. He's been poor. Like, he's been poor. So surely you can't defend a player just because of you know what I mean? Sometimes you have to look at it and say, you've been poor, mate. And it's not being a hater, because you want every player to come through your football club to do well. You want them to be good, don't you? So I don't know if hate is the right word. Maybe. I don't know. Could be. Don't know. It's up to you, isn't it? It's up to you. But yeah, left back. Don't look like we're signing one. Your options for me, from what I don't think Leaf. I think if Leeds United can, if someone wants to buy Leaf, they'll sell him. Do you know what I mean? They will sell him. 46% of you though want a new signing in there. I understand it. As well. I do think we should be getting a left back, but doesn't look like we are. So Kiel does an option there. I think Leaf will be gone, me. I do. Maybe Jack Harrison there. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see on that. And a goalkeeper, of course. I think Leeds United will do a goalkeeper if the situation presents itself. So they will get the players that they need in the door. They obviously don't see a second choice goalkeeper as being so important as your midfielder, your striker, and your winger right now. And I understand it. But of course, if we get them done before pre-season, before we go away in Australia, then between now and the rest of the window, surely a goalkeeper presents himself and Leeds get it done. Remember, there's 61 days left in this window. 61 days left. 20 more likes for 300 people as well. If you haven't already, please do like the video as well. And like Cole Breeze says, rest in peace, Andy Gorham as well, lost sadly to cancer as well. So big shout out to Andy Gorham as well. Paul said, no, Joe, from the journalist's mouth, third source. Well, no, because it's come from Leo, hasn't it? It's come from Leo. Alan says, we're going backwards, Joe. Who? Leeds United or me? Not me. I hope it's not me, Paul. No, we're not. I think we're going forwards, brother. I think we're going forwards. Let's wait and see what happens with the goalkeeper. I expect it to be done if one situation presents itself. Now let's talk about some outgoings. Remember, we've still got outgoings. We've got potential new contracts. We're going to speak about potential incomings. Charles De Ketelaere, Mohamed Camara, Tyler Adams. Loads to go through. Thank you so much. I was going to ask you for that. I forgot my drink. But don't be shy and hit the like. As Melanie's just said, big shout out Melanie for that comment. Over 300 likes, that's great. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. But we're going to talk about some potential outgoings. Jamie Shackleton and Tyler Roberts, folks. Blinky Fish, bang on the money. Tyler Roberts on his way out. It does look that way. QPR and Hull City are among the clubs after Leeds United forward Tyler Roberts. Will that be... Paul, I don't think we're after Ola Aina. I know you've mentioned it a few times. I don't see us being after Ola Aina. It's pure paper talk. Nah, not for me. Not for me, Paul. Anyway, yeah, back to Tyler Roberts. QPR and Hull City are among the clubs after Leeds United forward Tyler Roberts. Holy Ghost says Tyler Roberts leaving is like a new signing. Detailer says Tyler was good against Hull. Yeah, like he scored 2 against Preston, didn't he? In the first season, I think. Because I remember him doing that at home. And then, yeah, he was good against Hull, wasn't he? So Tyler Roberts looks like he's going to be leaving QPR or Hull City. I'd probably say he probably goes to Hull. He needs to, I guess, resurrect his career. Maybe it'll be a loan. I think what did we pay for Tyler Roberts? I think we paid a small little bit, from West Brom, wasn't he? Because they wanted to keep him. Let's have a look. 2.5 million. 2.5 million we paid for him. Are you getting that back? Do you think you get that back? I would hope so. You want to try and make an upmark on it, don't you? Apparently, to transfer marks, his current market value is 7.2 million. I'd snap your hands off for that. But I don't think he's getting. Yeah, no one's buying him for 7.2 million, are we? But I think we'll get our money back, D. I think you're right. I think we would get the 2.5. Maybe some incentives on there. I don't know if it's a permanent or a loan. I'd imagine it'd be a loan with a view. Maybe, I don't know. He needs to go get minutes, doesn't he? He needs to go get minutes and show himself that he can do a job. I remember he was being linked to Derby and stuff, and we were all saying at the time it'd probably be a good move for him. Get him playing in the number 9. His preferred position. I think. What is his position? I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of people saying. They want Tyler gone. I feel sorry for him. I'm sorry, I do. I do feel sorry for him. It wasn't his fault that Bielsa continued to play him, even though when he didn't look right or out of sorts, he did go to him a lot. How I feel about Bielsa as well. It's easy now that there's been some separation to look at things a bit more objectively, and I do, he was overutilized, wasn't he? Because he wasn't really of the required standard. I have been on record as saying, could he work under Jesse Marsh's system? I said that as well. More narrow. I remember saying it to KG and he looked at me like I'd shat on him. So I think it's the right move for all parties, really. Whether or not we can get, return on the investment, probably can. 2.5 million. He's got Premier League experience now. I think you get that back. Maybe some more on add-ons. I don't know. If you got 5 million for him, I think you'd snap his hands up, wouldn't you? Name is Liam, says Man United are in the mud. They are, mate. Ronaldo don't want to know, does he? That was great to hear on the radio on the way back earlier, I can't lie. But yeah, Jamie Shackleton. Jamie Shackleton is a loan target for Reading. I said a few weeks back, it's hard for me to do because he's one of our own, Leeds fan, etc. It's a lot harder than, just your normal run-of-the-mill players, isn't it? That's why the Calvin thing stings. But Jamie Shackleton needs to move on. I don't see him making the grade at Leeds United as a midfielder, because if he hasn't got in there yet, he's not going to... If we stay in the Premier League, the squad's going to get better, isn't it? So he's, it's a bit of a shame for him. I think it's shades of Robbie Gotts in a sense that, they were so close yet so far. Okay, Jamie Shackleton played a whole... host of minutes more than what Robbie did and all these other players, but under Bielsa, just always on the periphery. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Do you know what I mean? He was given chances. I remember that game. He came on second half against Villa, where we played really well. He then, was then put into the first team against Leicester the game after, and it just didn't work. We got overrun. My memory's not great, so. Paul, no, never lose my love for Bielsa. I've got a tattoo of the man on my body, man. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I think Tyler Roberts became a bit of a lightning rod when he wasn't being asked to be played all the time. Do you know what I mean? I think all of us could see he wasn't really making the grade. D says Shaq could go. Huddersfield should, maybe. Yeah, under Carlos, that'd be good. But look, loan target for Reading. A championship move's a great move for him. Another player that could be on his way to the championship or will be on his way to the championship from Leeds United is, of course, Charlie Creswell. Now, yeah, you're right, Jordan. How dare you question my love of Bielsa? Do not ever, like Will Smith said, get your wife's name out of your mouth, Paul. Get my love of Bielsa name out of your mouth. Anyway. That was rubbish, wasn't it? But Charlie Creswell is someone who will make the grade at Leeds United. He will play for England. He will captain Leeds United. He is going on loan, though. He's going on loan to the Championship. I believe the two clubs were Sunderland and Millwall. I think Millwall might have run the race to his signature. Bit of a shame. I'd have preferred him to go to Sunderland. I think I heard Connor speaking about it over the day, just saying it's Millwall, but maybe that atmosphere and that might just bring him on that little bit more. I think Charlie will thrive in that hotbed. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it could be a good move for Charlie on loan. Of course, we have history with Millwall. But yeah, look, apparently they have given a decent financial package as well. And their approach has ticked all the boxes in terms of what Leeds United wanted. You have to think now, as a Premier League club, we'll probably be putting a lot of things they'll have to hit within the loan, like Liverpool do. You know, I think Liverpool, if they don't play, you know, I think when Harvey Elliott went to Blackburn, for example, if they don't pay, you've got to pay X amount. If they do pay, you've got to pay. You know, there's loads of different markers they'll have to hit. So the financial package that Millwall have presented to Leeds United makes sense, and ultimately it's a business. You know what I mean? So Leeds United, you know, the powers that be ain't going, oh, we don't want to go to Millwall. They're looking at it and saying, right, okay, this is what they're going to offer us on loan. Let's send him out there. So I think he's going to go out on loan. Do I agree with the decision? I'd like him to stay at the football club. I think he'd be better placed in the, you know, in and around the squad. But if not, he might as well go get game time. I know Lee Carsley was speaking about him, the England under-21 coach. Gareth Southgate was talking about him, and he said, Lee Carsley, that in order for him to get game time, I can't pick him if he's not playing. So I think Creswell's probably hearing that as well and saying, do you know what, my future's at Leeds, but I want to go play. You know what I mean? I want to go play. So looks like he's going to the Championship, and he needs to play man's football, doesn't he? He needs to play man's, football, and be mixing it with that. You know, so our centre-backs, of course, we have 4 good centre-backs, you know, 4 good centre-backs. I know people will disagree with me, but you've got Llorente, you've got Koch, you've got Cooper, and you've got Strauch. That's the one, Steve. That's what I needed. Get any doubts of Joe's love for Marcelo out of your mouth. Yeah, that's what I needed. So there's your 4 centre-backs, first choice centre-backs. And then you've maybe got Hjelde that can play in there, etc., if needs be. But that's another reason why I think Hjelde is a left-back option as well. That makes sense, because why not send out Hjelde on loan? Because maybe he's having that conversation with Hjelde in training to say, we're not signing another left-back. You can play left-back. You're going to be, you know, my second choice left-back, for example. You know, and it makes more sense when you think about it. They're willing to let Creswell go out, because I'd argue Creswell's ahead of, you know, Hjelde in the pecking order. So clearly Hjelde's not being kept around the camp as a centre-back option, because they're letting Creswell go higher up than him in the pecking order. So that makes me think Hjelde's your second choice left-back, or maybe third behind Leaf, but the club are trying to sell Leaf. So, you know, we'll have to see on that. But Creswell looks like he's getting a move to the Championship. Let's have a look at that poll then. You all wanted a new signing. That's old news, John. It's hard for me to keep up with the poll, you know what I mean? A new contract is in the offing as well for Joe Gelhardt, which is absolutely which is mustard. Mr. Arvidsson says 4 good centre-backs, 79 goals conceded. Yeah, I hear that, but that was more about the style of play. You know, they are decent centre-backs. I want to know, does anyone actually think we need centre-backs? Like, I think it's madness. I've heard people put it forward, like, say, the guy from Burnley. What's he called? Collins. Decent centre-back, but we don't need him. We don't need him. Leeds United are stacked at centre-back, because you've got the 4 that I've mentioned, and then you've got Hjelde and Creswell behind you. Do you know what I mean? Leeds Lobby says, how can Hjelde be ready and Creswell not? See, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's the conversation. Hjelde's been primed as a left-back for me under Marsh. Because you're right. Because Creswell's more ready than thing. But all Creswell's going to do is get splinters on the bench. Isn't he? Really? You've got 4 good centre-backs. If he goes with the back 4, then, you know, for me, your centre-back partnership's probably going to be Koch and Cooper. And I can hear you all going, no, it should be Strauch. This will be Cooper's last season, but it is what it is. Yeah, Danny, I've been collecting him, you know. It's my new thing, brother. Big shout out. Leeds need a centre-back that can head the ball. Cooper can head the ball, pal. Cooper can head the ball. Joe Gelhardt, though, he's in advanced talks with Leeds United over a long-time deal for the striker. I think Somerville the same. And of course Sam Greenwood as well. So that's exciting, isn't it? Because we want to get these players on long-term deals. You go down, maybe Joffrey's your starter. I don't know. A lot of people were worried that he'd get nicked offers. I don't see that, because even if we'd have gone down, he'd probably be given a starting berth. But it's good that he wants to sign a new deal. We're being linked to a lot of great young talent as well. Emre Tezgel, the next Harry Kane, signed a new deal, didn't he, at Stoke as well? Absolutely gutted. I did that video and there was all talk of it, and then he went and signed a new deal at Stoke. Fuming. Because Thingy had gone there as well on the same day, Liam McCarron, and I was thinking, yo, they've sent McCarron as a sweetener. But no, he signed a new deal. We'll have to keep that one, because hopefully Leeds United can get him at a later date. Maybe he's been offered game time at Stoke, apparently. He is the next best thing, so we will have to watch this space. Liam says Fantasy Football League Defo Joe will be happening. I promise you that will be happening, so make sure you join the league. Yeah, so Joe Gelhardt in advance talks to stay on at Leeds United. Leeds United as well, obviously, after Sonny Perkins, we know, another striker at West Ham, him and George Hall as well, I think, from Coventry, or was it Birmingham? Same area, I think it might have been Birmingham, actually. Nick Matthews, why is the Just Joe badge an amalgamation of the colours of Newcastle and Money City? It's not, bro. If you look closely, there's Yorkshire Rose behind it. It's black because it pops. It's got a white stripe on it. It's nice. Andy, we are going to speak about Camara and CDK very, very soon. Very, very soon. We've got Charles De Ketelaere to go. We've got more Camara, Tyler Adams, and then that'll be a lot. But we're going to talk about Sonny Perkins. So West Ham confirmed that the 18-year-old had left the club. He'd been asked yesterday, or they'd been asked a couple of days ago, to let them go. They were unhappy with the situation, and he's going to sign for someone else. I think that will be Leeds United, but there were other clubs who wanted him as well. But they didn't specify the club they were unhappy with, but they believed that he's been sort of like tapped up. And then he's gone over and said, listen, I want you to release me from my scholarship. They've made no comment on it as of yet, hasn't Leeds, but it's definitely one to watch, and he won't be without a club for long. Let's see if the FA get involved as well. Graham Smith did some response to questions earlier on Twitter. So Sonny Perkins looks like he could be on his way to Leeds United. So again, Joe Gelhardt, Sonny Perkins, Sam Greenwood, all these young players that we've been linked to, it's all good for the future. And even if they don't make the grade, maybe like a Tyler Roberts, for example, or even if you look further down the pecking order, Liam McCarron or whatever, these players that we've signed, they've probably gone for more than we originally signed them from. Do you know what I mean? Let's have a look on transfer. Well, I bet it'll be undisclosed. Let's have a look. Liam McCarron. I'm not seeing it says question mark on the fee on both times, but we brought him in from Carlisle United, and then he's probably moved on to Stoke for more than we brought. You know what I mean? So you're just making money. You know what I mean? You're making bank in a sense, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? So it's business sense sometimes. So even if they don't make the grade, you're still making money. Right, let's talk about one of the exciting transfers of the window before we get into the midfield chat. It is, of course, Charles De Ketelaere. We know that Leeds United want to sign him. They see him as a number 10, maybe /9. He can play anywhere, really, to be fair. I know Connor mentioned as a shadow striker. I like that. I just like that shadow striker. But yeah, look, AC Milan are the front runners for this guy. Leicester are interested as well, but have kept their powder dry. We'll have to wait and see if they lodge a bid. If they lodge a bid, we're probably going to get blown out of the water. It is what it is, because it's Leicester City. They've won a Premier League. They've won an FA Cup in more recent times. Charles De Ketelaere is a young boy, probably, not aware of the history of Leeds United, potentially. I don't know. You've got to weigh all these things up. Leicester are a bigger draw than Leeds United. They have a number of Belgian players as well. Your man Dennis Pratt and stuff. So, I say a number, it might only be one, but I know Dennis Pratt's from Belgium, isn't he? So, they've signed some decent players over the years. So I see that. And then, of course, you've got AC Milan as well. AC Milan are in the hunt for a specific type of player. And they believe, as reported by Phil here, that they can kill several birds with one stone if they manage to get Charles De Ketelaere, because he can play in the right wing. He can play in number 10. The head coach there uses a 4-2-3-1 formation, and De Ketelaere's played in a number of roles across there for Bruges. He's played in every position across the front line for his current club, off the left, the right, as a second striker, and then last season mainly as a central one. He's also played as a number 8 and a left wing back. So, this guy can play anywhere. 18 goals and 10 assists from 49 club appearances last season. De Ketelaere is attracting interest from everywhere. Like Dan Dobbs says, how can I forget Tielemans? Wow. But yeah, you mentioned there, Dennis Pratt, Yuri Tielemans and Timothy Castagna as well, all at Leicester. Yeah, big shout out for that, Dan Dobb. So you can understand why that would be a draw for him as well, because he's played for the national side under Roberto Martinez. Know that if they come in, they're going to be saying, come and join us, and he's going to go and join them. Do you know what I mean? It makes sense in that respect. But hopefully they don't come in for him. Hopefully they don't put the money up. Leeds United are ready to bid, when these deals get over the line. Like I said to you last time, when people told me, what are you talking about? That his entourage and Charles De Ketelaere himself is aware of the interest. Leeds United are out there telling everyone, we want this guy, but Milan are the favourites, and that's from him himself. It's AC Milan. Do you know what I mean? It's AC Milan, the Scudetto champions. 32 more likes for 400 as well, please. If you haven't liked the video, please do. So Milan, I can understand why he favours a move to Milan, right? Do you know what I mean? You can understand why he would favour a move to Milan. But I don't think they have great funds either. I think there's a few issues there. Italian football seems to be a bit like that. We know what happened with the Inter Milan stuff and Conte when he left because they weren't backing him and they had to sell. I mean, it was one of the best business they've probably ever done, selling Lukaku for 90 million and then, getting him back for 8 million or whatever it was on loan. Milan's his preferred destination, but Leeds are pushing hard. And have been chatting with him and his agent. So apparently Club Brugge want like 40 million euros, which will be a record over there. I think the most anyone's ever gone for from the Jupiler Pro League is 26 million, and that was Jonathan David went to Lille from one of the Belgian clubs. We were after Jonathan David, if you remember, as well. So look, I love Charles De Ketelaere. He's the one that excites me the most. One that I'd love to see us, get in. Rudy Galletti, one of the journalists on the old Tinterweb, said that the club have had more positive contact with the agent. Leicester are hesitating. Milan still waiting to put their bid in, but Leeds United have obviously seen maybe a little opening there. And that's giving them renewed hope. As long as Victor can present it correctly, we've seen him do this before. He has pulled rabbits out of the hat. He did that getting Raphinha. He did that getting Ilian Melier. So, you know what I mean? AC Milan, though, they see him as a very good move. But at this stage, it is us that look most likely because we're ready to make the move. But that doesn't mean De Ketelaere is going to choose Leeds. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like Raphinha not choosing Arsenal or Chelsea. He wants Barca. Know that AC Milan will be speaking to him. Now, the situation is, if Leeds put their bid in of 40 million euros, whatever it is, club record over in the Jupiler Pro League, and then AC Milan speak to his people and say, listen, we can't get close to that. And no bids coming in from Leicester, then at that point, he's probably more open to the move. But if Leicester are still if Milan are still speaking to his agent saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, then we'll have to wait and see. We need to wait for that bid to go in, don't we? So again, it's held up, I guess, by the Raphinha situation. But Charles De Ketelaere's preferred move is Milan. I understand it. If Leicester come in, I think we get beaten as well, just because it's Leicester City. They have, they've won the Premier League, they've won the FA Cup in recent times, and they have quite a large Belgian national contingent that'll be getting in Charles's ear as well. Alex with the super chat, thanks, says Milan are after Ziyech as well and may not have enough for CDK. Again, that's what I'm saying. So if Leeds lodge that bid and they're saying, look, mate, we can't get near to it, then he's probably more open to the move to Leeds United potentially. It's one to watch because that's the one I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, Charles De Ketelaere would be a great signing. Now let's speak about midfield, right? This is the one that's been up for debate. Apparently there were 3 options out there. Them options were Tyler Adams, Mohamed Camara, and I believed Harry Winks. Let's hope it's not Harry Winks, yeah? But I believe it's Harry Winks. Not know Sander Berg, not know anyone else you've heard of Harry Winks, yeah? One sec. Right, okay, so Mohamed Camara. Graham Smith was asked about Mohamed Camara. Now, Bobcat, you're right. Hey, Joe, the Camara rumour guy got stuff right first before anyone in the past. I hope it's true, yeah? I hope it's true, Bob, right? But I've said, and I've had reservations about the Mohamed Camara stuff. It almost felt too good to be true. People were saying a deal, a medical's been booked, all that sort of stuff. And Jack Lambert, imagine Mohamed Camara permanent, Tyler Adams loan. I nearly said Tyler Roberts there. Tyler Adams loan with a view to buy, having them two plus your man Mark Rocker, decent. Graham Smith was asked the question. He said about Joe Donahue getting very excited. I know the lads at All Stats, aren't we, etc. in their Discord. Everyone's buzzing about this guy. So I listened to a lot of them and I'm like, yo, this could be good. But like's been said before, and like Graham Smith reiterated, he's also very expensive. Now, of course, you get what you pay for. But Graham Smith says, given that Leeds United need to buy 3 players for 3 different positions, they may go for a cheaper option, i.e. Tyler Adams, yeah? Now, unlike Tyler Adams and Charles De Ketelaere, where the club have come out and said, we are after these people, we are aware of them, we like them, Mohamed Camara's not been one of them, yeah? Now, you can't rule it out, of course. Graham Smith said you can't rule it out completely, and I know we'd all further Mohamed Camara. And maybe there is a little bit of a chance there. But like Graham Smith said, like Phil Hay said, like I've said, not that I have any sort of thing, but it just, when you look at the whole situation, we've spoke about Tyler Adams, right? Tyler Adams was given his debut by Jesse Marsch back at New York Red Bulls. He was brought to Leipzig by Jesse Marsch when he was second in command to Ralf Rangnick. He's done an interview, which I spoke to you about last week, where he said that Tyler Adams will go very far in the game. I love the guy, etc., etc. It's like his son. Do you know what I mean? It's like Neil Warnock and Paddy Kenny. Genuinely, right? And Graham Smith said, Tyler Adams remains the more likely and achievable addition in that position right now. Things can change quickly, and we've seen many times in the recent past. Camara looks tailor-made for the position, someone who could really add something to Leeds' game in possession and a horrible player to play against. Yeah? But his expense would be a factor, and it may be that Leeds instead turn to RB Leipzig man Tyler Adams, who has the appearance of a solid and sensible signing. We know that he's apparently available on loan now with a view to permanent. I had people telling me, I go back and check the comments, man, the messages that I get and that, and then saying to me, Leeds will not do business with Leipzig. Leipzig have come out and said this. Well, I said to you, that just doesn't make sense. Like, it never made sense, because that money over Jean-Kevin Augustin was always getting sorted in the court of law. If they have a player there that wants to move and a club that wants to buy, they're cutting off the nose to spite the face, like your mum used to say to you, oh, there's 20 million for that player that don't want to be there anymore and that you want to sell. Sorry, it's Leeds. We don't do business with you. That was never going to happen. They are going to take the money, yeah, and say, we'll see that other 20 million in court. Do you know what I mean? Like that, yeah. Mad. Anyway, so Leipzig is considering letting him go on loan, yeah, to leave on loan. The Athletic, Phil Hay, understands Adam is on the list of centre midfielders who Leeds are considering to move for after the loss of Calvin, yeah. He needs regular game time. He weren't getting it at Leipzig. You know, let's not forget when Jesse was in charge there, by the way. He played on his debut. He got man of the match in a 4-0 win against Fortuna Dusseldorf, and in his debut got man of the match in that game. And they also remained unbeaten while he was in the side until he got injured in April, moving in January and April. He was injured, and then they lost their first game. So they didn't lose a game with Adams in the side. I think there's a little bit, yes, Mo Camara looks the more exciting, proposition and, the next Kante, etc. But I feel there's a lot of Tyler Adams is rubbish, and I don't agree with that at all. They've just bought a new player in as well from Wolfsburg, another centre midfielder, which means his game time is going to go down even more. And Jesse Marsch has worked, with him before. Leipzig are willing to let him leave on a temporary basis with a view to a permanent move. Tyler Adams really wants to move to Leeds. This is out there now. He said, I want to move to Leeds. He's already spoken to Jesse Marsch, who wants another midfield despite landing Matt Rocker. That came out tonight from Ben Jacobs, finger on the pulse. He said, Tyler Adams says, I want to move to Leeds. I've already spoken to Jesse Marsch. That is all you need for me. I think this Mo Camara stuff isn't correct unless Leeds get them both. I think Mo Camara might be going for Brighton. It looks like he might be going for Brighton. But we'll have to wait and see. Harmony says, come on now. You don't like Tyler Harmony? You want Jens Kjuste, don't you, from Midgetland? I know you. But Leipzig open to a deal. They've obviously bought a new midfielder. This is what I'm saying though about that Tyler Adams. When people were saying that they're not doing business with Leeds, well, they've just bought a player. Imagine that. Or we're going to keep him on our books and continue paying his wages because we don't want him to go to you. It's BS, man. It was always BS. Stick with your boy. You won't go far wrong. Midgetland for life. Exactly. Adams needs game time ahead of the World Cup. Apparently, Everton and Sevilla are interested as well. Let Everton have the 25 million for Harry Winks. Let us bring in Tyler Adams, loan with a view to buy. Yeah. Hopefully we get them both. Maybe we get them both. Because I did get excited because I've always felt we would go for Tyler Adams just because it makes sense with the coach that we've got. He's the cheaper option. Yes, you get what you pay for, etc. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see on it. But I think it's been said, look, I think this was Graham Smith. I can't remember. I've gone through so much today. But Tyler Adams looks like a very sensible signing. Horrible to play against and trustworthy in possession. It's not difficult to see him alongside someone like Marc Roca, who would take care of the majority of the distribution. Now, Mo Camara probably gives you all that, right, in one player. But if you have a double pivot of Tyler Adams and Marc Roca, they can use their skill sets together, right? Tyler Adams is like, you break it all up, you get the ball, blah, blah, blah. It's like the managers say, pass it to the players that can play. I hate to say it, but I think it might have been Brian Clough. I can't remember what it was on. You just give the ball to him. You give the ball to him and let him do the work. Is it a case of Adams does all the dirty work and then just goes, there you go, Marc Roca. Marc Roca spins the ball out. Do you know what I mean? Now, of course, Mo Camara probably gives you all that. We know that. We spoke about Mo Camara the other day when I did the video. I think that was on Wednesday, potentially during the day. But everything for me is pointing towards Tyler Adams just because it all makes sense. Do you know what I mean? And I've said that to you. That's it. Just, I don't know. But like Bobcat says, we'll know by Tuesday if the Camara stuff is true or not. Yeah, look, that guy, he got stuff right before. We know that Brighton were interested. We know that Leeds were interested. Whether or not we're willing to stump up the cash for him, I don't know. It may be one we miss out on if he goes to Brighton and tears it up and Tyler Adams has a shocker. We're like, oh no, nightmare, you know what I mean? But maybe the move to Brighton he favours as well. Obviously, his fellow compatriot, Basuma, Malayan, he leaves. Mo Camara comes in. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Dave says, how much will you get? Yeah. I've been banging the... Listen, I'm not saying I have a... Well, I do like... Listen, I said it the day after we got promoted. We stayed up, didn't I? I said, Tyler Adams is coming in. If that happens, that's free from free. I'm telling you, I'm on the ball. O'Brien, cheapest chips in class, says St. Helens White. I'm not too sure. We'll make that. I think these players we're being linked with are a level up. Apart from Harry Winks, stay away from that, Victor. Stay away from that. Look, we've gone through loads. We need Raphinha to go. When Raphinha goes, we can then start to bring players in. Charles De Ketelaere, I hope he's the one that I want the most. I really want him to come in. I think him behind Bamford alongside him, them two, just be nice. Then I think we get Tyler Adams just because it's easy to do. So I think we get that one done. And then Gakpo's gone a bit quiet again, hasn't it? Gakpo's gone a bit quiet again. Fabrizio Romano mentioned that Leeds were interested in him, but, had a preference to Charles De Ketelaere. I don't know. Maybe Gakpo. What about Gakpo? Gav, I've not heard any updates on Gakpo since we last spoke about him. If I have a look now, just see when the last news article was on Gakpo 4 hours ago. Again, though, you can never... Football London, it's not credible, is it? Arsenal handed blows PSV star Cody Gakpo plots Gini Wijnaldum transfer route. Well, that was ages ago. They've reported that 4 hours ago. We spoke about that Gini Wijnaldum stuff. Let's have a look. That was just report. Arsenal aren't in for Gakpo, are they really? I don't think so. You don't go from Raphinha to Gakpo in terms of what you want to bring in. I know we're going from Raphinha to Gakpo, but it's where we are, right? Andy says Camara and CDK for me. I think we'll get 3, won't we? Winger, striker / Do you know what? Charles De Ketelaere offers you so much. Yeah, animally recycled. He can play anywhere. Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean. If Rodrigo's behind the 10, he can play in the striker. He can play from the left. He can play from the right. He's the one for me. I think Tyler Adams makes sense because it's cheaper and he just comes in and he does the job. Of course, maybe if we miss Camara and he goes on to have the career that, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, of course. It might be one. Big shout out to Leo as well, just a new member of the Just Joe football show. Thank you so much for your support. Leone Leo, I think. Leone Leo. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Legend. Sasha says goalkeeper. Yeah, I think the club will get one done. They just want to get these more important signings before we do. Andy says, thank you so much for the super chat and your continued support on the channel, mate. One of the moderators, big up to the moderators in the chat as well. He says, let's get Joe to 13k subs. I know, right? I'm on 12,528. It was only a couple of days ago we were on 12k. So we're nearly at, we're halfway to 13k already. I've set myself the target of 20k before the end of the year. That'd be amazing for us to get where we are anyway in the year that we've had. Like, it's amazing. So I'm grateful for all your support. I hope you've enjoyed this sort of there we go. Jose Lopez, as an American, watched him much more regularly than us, says, I can say Adams is not the finished product going forward. You'll get nothing. But if you need someone to cover your back line, he's got you. That's what I'm saying. So he's the cheaper option. He can play alongside Mark Rocker. Mark Rocker's going to be the one who's going to progress the ball. Mo Camara gives us all that in one player. Maybe it's worth paying it. I don't know. We shall have to wait and see. Bumper transfer catch-up. I hope you're all caught up. My head's hurting a little bit. Now that we're all caught up after a couple of days off at the wedding, as news breaks, I will bring it to you. For those asking about the Premier League preview and all that sort of stuff, I'm working on something in the background, trying to arrange a sort of new show with some faces, but it's been a bit of a nightmare trying to get everyone, so I'm still working on it, but I plan on bringing the Premier League stuff a couple of weeks before the season starts, looking at each club's business and all that sort of stuff. So it will be coming to you. I'm just trying to arrange stuff in the background. It's quite frustrating, actually. But listen, I do it because this is my happy place and I hope you enjoy it. I know there's almost over 700 people, which is amazing. So thank you all so much for your support. If something happens tomorrow, I'll bring it to you. You know how it is. I just wanted to catch you all up. Thank you all so much. Yeah, Ted, I will be doing the watch-alongs of pre-season as well. It'll be a little bit more relaxed. I won't be going wild like I normally do, but I will be doing them. Even the one at 5:30. And I set my alarm for that. Thomas Johansson transfer match. Nah, Noah Lang's not coming, Leeds, man. It's not. We needed 2 extra CMs before KP left, says Dave Fortner. And now we need more, he's saying. I don't know, Dave, brother. I think if you bring in Tyler Adams, right, and I know people disagree with me, but thank you, Jose Lopez. I love you too. If you bring in Tyler Adams, yeah, you've got Tyler Adams, you've got Mark Rocker, you've got Click, you've got Forshaw, you've got Cock that can play in there. Yeah, I think 2 players for every position. We've got that. I know it's not ideal. Of course, we'd like to have more. But I think if we bring in 6, 3 more that we want, so you've got a striker, winger, and a midfielder, plus the 3 we've already got, which, no, not my wedding, Paul. No, my wedding. Don't do that. Yeah, Samantha, the striker, Charles De Ketelaere, striker, can play there. The 3 we've already got, which is Rasmus Aronson and Matt Rocker. So you've got 6, yeah? Plus a goalkeeper, which I think we'll do once we get them done. They're just not as important right now. Then I think that's a good window. Andy, I don't think we'll sell Click. We need to make the squad bigger. Do you know what I mean? And Click will be happy, probably little bits here and there. I think it's wise to keep them, the likes of Ayling, the likes of Click, and then next season, Ayling's contract will be up. I think they'll let him leave. I think he'll get a move back to the Championship, perhaps. And then because then you'll have, Cody, Rasmus, and then, I think we're going to start to see more of the old guard go. I think we'll see them, but I don't want to sell them. Let's just let it take natural thing, because we ain't got a big enough squad to be then letting players go as well as bringing them in. Of course, we've had to sell Calvin and Raphinha to facilitate this change in the squad. But yeah, like there, Gav, Forshaw, Rodrigo, Click, Greenwood, Aronson, who'll be able to play in there, then Rocker, then this. I think there is enough in there, Jody says it makes no sense to go for Adams when more is better. It makes financial sense, I think, to the club. We need to bring in more players. It's all that sort of stuff, There is obviously a sense to do that. If he's more expensive and Leeds don't think they can do it, then we have to back that, don't we? We don't have to back it. We can disagree with it. But, when Adams comes in, I hope he gets the support. Cause I feel like the tides turn on him and no one's seen him play. Because everyone's dead set on Mohamed Camara. We'll have to wait and see. Should we be worried, Joe, says Stephen, about what, mate? If you don't be worried about relegation, it ain't happening. Trust me, clip it up. I told you last season, didn't I? People come for me. I get it right, man. Samantha says we feel weak at the minute. We're not weak, man. Don't worry. Yeah, man. Right, listen, I've rambled. I need to go get my head down as well. I need to watch Stranger Things, my G. What about that Kate Bush banger 37 years ago when you're running up the hill? Places. Anyway, babushka. See you